there's got to be a point in all of our lives when something happens and we become a seeker.
Welcome, everyone, to the Seekers of the Eternal podcast. We have a special guest today. Jay and I are very excited to have Rissa Vibes with us today. And let's begin, as always, before we dive in, we'll just relax and release the energy in the body and a little prayer to start our time together. So let's take in a deep, normal inhalation and all the way out. And now double inhale and tense all the muscles. Tense and low, medium, high, vibrate with willpower, and exhale, relax, release, and feel. Again, inhale and tense. Low, medium, high tension in all the muscles, and exhale, relax and feel. Last round, inhale and tense. Low, medium, high, tensing all the muscles in the body, and exhale, relax and feel. Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, dearest friend, beloved God, be with us in meditation, be with us in this podcast, be with us all the time, be behind our every thought, our every word, our every action. Let these words be beneficial to all those who connect with them. Om, peace. Amen.
That's beautiful.
So nice to be with you. So nice to see your face.
Yes.
And to be able to have this time to chat. We have with us Rissa Vibes. And I just wanted to read a little your bio here, just so we can hear a little bit about you and then dive into the conversation, explore all these different avenues.
Sure.
So Rissa Vibes is a multidimensional channel, Galactic Shaman, intuitive mentor, hippie soul songstress, activating higher vibrational frequencies within the mind, body, and spirit through her Intuitive Luminary Coaching, sacred energy readings, enlightening events experiences, conscious music, and much more. Over the past 8 years, Rissa has been guiding and supporting spiritually conscious people and illuminating their divine gifts and navigating their enlightenment path. With the addition of her bachelor's degree in science degree in psychology, and experience in behavioral health counseling, Rissa also merges her intuition with therapeutic expertise to provide balanced services for all. She absolutely loves fulfilling her purpose and uplifting the world in this way. And you also offer services and one-on-one coaching to others. So yeah, we'll be diving into all that and making this available for people to be able to connect with you more and more. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so full. My heart is so full just in the presence of this energy. It's beautiful.
Wonderful. I feel the same. We connected through every week. We through Seekers of the Eternal, our podcast, and the Web3 community that we're building here. Every Tuesday, we do a Warriors of Light broadcast where we gather with other light warriors and we do a short meditation, visualization, and imagine that light wrapping around Mother Earth and healing all of the humans and the animals and the oceans and the air. And was looking for a song to play, and yours came to mind. I had found your music maybe a couple of years ago and was just so happy to find so much great conscious hip hop music and R&B music that's being put out right now. And yours really stood out, of course, with your Healers Unite song, as well as the song that you have, Warrior World. Those both were really right in line with what we were looking to activate and to gather with people. So those songs really spoke to me, and that's how we got in touch, just talking through Instagram there. So it's wonderful to be with you now, and maybe we can talk a little bit firstly about your music. When did you get started making music, and what did that path look like?
Wow, yeah. Well, thank you for the love and support of Warrior World and Healers Unite, first off, because those two are so near and dear to my heart, and especially Warrior World. Both of them are channeled. All my music is channeled, but Warrior World just has this energy. It's maybe one of my favorite songs I've written thus far. Just in exactly what you described, I envision, just a loving light wrapping around the world, and us really harnessing our warrior of light power to help heal the world. So thank you for that acknowledgement. My journey with music has been so powerful and so infinite. I have been writing music since I was little. I've been writing songs and always dreamed of being a musician, an artist, a singer ever since I was little. But I was always a little shy. I used it as therapy mainly. And so all of the things I would write and sing were very vulnerable, as most musicians can relate. And so it took me a little while to get to the point where I was ready to share my music. And in reflection, it was so right on time as always, because it was after my activation from my dark night of the soul and my awakening of my gifts again, from shutting them down when I was younger. After that, that's when I was really able to muster the courage to share and felt so called to share the music. And the music at that point was just at a higher level of vibration and really ready to emit the codes of light that it was meant to. So the spirit of the music chose me, and I chose it back, and I'm so grateful to be a vessel for it, and consciously allowing it to flow.
Mm-hmm. I actually I pasted some of the lyrics to that song just because for people that haven't heard it before, and this is actually a term that my spiritual teachers use: warriors of light, seeing us as warriors of light. Those of us who've come here during this time, really empowering yourself to know like why you're here and that you can really have an effect on this planet. If you can see, if you are someone who's gone through these dark nights of the soul or are interested in doing shadow work, you can become a light in the darkness, and then we can gather together and activate each other and be able to, if we have, you have a lot of little pins of light and we all gather together, you get a really bright light, even just candles of light, so I love this idea of being able to find others through their creative offering. So I'm so happy that you put this music out. Just some of the lyrics here I was just going to read here. So warriors so lifted, warriors of light, warriors so gifted, warriors unite. We have swam the rivers, sang under moonlight. We are nature's healers. We are cosmic sky. We've got the power. We've got the light. We've got the fight. We are here to save the world. Just a little bit of that. I love thinking about it in that way. And music can help you. You can read scriptures and you can do these, but the music can really help to, because music is vibration and we're all vibration. It really helps us to put these teachings into action. So yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit of the lyrics there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I truly feel that, especially with that song, I have many visions when I listen to and create music. And with that song, I kind of imagine, all the healers and warriors of light around the world kind of getting that that pep talk that they need to go out and be the light that they are, consciously and unconditionally, even when it's tough. I kind of think of it as like a spiritual Marvel movie of some kind. It's like, ready to go and bring the light and fight that good fight in a beautiful way. So yeah, thank you for that.
I see it in that way too. Just like, yeah, we're these superheroes on Earth. This is like a movie that we're all in. We should see it. Of course, they're villains. Of course, there are darkness in the world. That's how a movie goes. That's every good superhero movie has to have darkness involved, and then the heroes gather together. What were some catalysts for your becoming interested in exploring your own consciousness? Did that start at an early age, or was there a mentor, or was there what kind of catalyst came into your life to make you
Yeah,
start that path?
Well, I've always had a gift of intuition, and I've always seen spirit and energy since I was really young. Probably as early as 4 or 5 years old, I was seeing spirit and angels and, passed on loved ones coming to me and giving me messages for the family and things like that. And I was really afraid of it when I was younger because I was raised, in a more dogmatic version of religion and spirituality. And so my family didn't really know what to tell me. They were just kind of like, go pray about it. And I don't know, this is kind of weird, taboo. And so I was kind of made to feel, afraid of it. And so when I was younger, I kind of shut it down. There was a point when I was in the Girl Scouts and I was like having a sleepover in like Prescott for a camping trip. We were in this big auditorium building. And I remember waking up in the middle of the night and I saw all these angels hovering over everyone. It was like a golden ceiling sky of angels, and they were all moving and kind of trying to talk to me. And I was like, okay, I'm about 10 or 11 now. I know this isn't my imagination, this is real. And it was kind of terrifying at first because I didn't know what to do about it. And I wasn't really educated. And so I shut my gifts down. I remember just kind of like praying underneath my covers, like, go away, I don't know what this is. But it wasn't until I got older that I started having a lot of anxiety. And I went through my dark night of the soul with addiction, and I came out of that and, was more of a clear vessel again. But I was having a lot of panic attacks and anxiety, just paralyzing my life. And I tried everything and nothing was really solving the issue. And I had a friend who did these angel readings, and I really didn't have any other options. So I was like, I was told this is taboo, but something's telling me to go get this reading because I don't know what else to do to clear this anxiety. And it's angel reading, so it should be okay, right? And so I went to her and she told me, you have this gift, you've had it for so long, and you're kind of resurrecting it now that you've cleaned your vessel and you're no longer using drugs to numb yourself from all the feelings and things. And you're meant to be a beacon of light and let this energy run through you. And the anxiety is really a product of you feeling all the energy, but not knowing how to translate it. And it's all holding within you and you're like imploding. And so she gave me my first deck of oracle cards and told me to pull a card every time I felt anxious to start to let that energy translate itself through me. And as soon as I did that, I mean, my anxiety was just gone. It was incredible. And so at that point, I was like, oh, I need to learn everything about this. I finally have a direction on where to look and to find answers for these gifts and for these things that have been happening to me for so long. And it's providing me healing. So I know it can provide others the same. So that was really what dove me into everything I could learn about meditation and intuition development and metaphysics. And that's when my guides, my higher self and God, source energy started really speaking through me and in my experience with synchronicities and really kind of putting me through this like spiritual boot camp. Like I would be like deep into crystals for a couple months. Then I was deep into yoga, and then I was deep into channeling. And every time I would learn something new, it's like those things would activate within me. And it was just a powerful experience. And I'm still, a student of it every day. So I'm grateful for that.
That's beautiful. Jay, did you have any questions you want to jump in here while we got you?
Yeah, it's very inspiring. I think that there's probably a lot of people who go through life feeling that there's something inside of them, that they're capable of more, there's a light that needs to shine, but maybe they don't have that type of experience, or they don't have the courage to express it. So when you do meet people like that, I guess, because I'm sure now people come to you because you're full of light, it's hard to miss you. When they come to you and say, how can I find my light? What are some of the things that you suggest to people as they, try to find that light within?
First of all, just self-love. I think it starts there, is recognizing that they have a beautiful energy. Everyone has a unique energetic signature. And so once you start to acknowledge the unique aspects of yourself, your authenticity, and you start to love it more instead of think of yourself as different, something to be ashamed of, outcast, whatever, you start to love the things that make you different. You start to recognize why those things are there and why you're meant to express those things to the world and why the world needs those differences that you have. And that self-love, helps you to go within and see your own light. Another thing I would say is meditation, just sitting with self, quieting the mind, getting rid of the distractions that life throws at us that can sometimes divert our attention from our own conscious awareness and our channel to God, source. So those are the definite first two things. And then I think the next thing would be any type of intuition and breath, just breath itself, using the breath to move energy, to feel energy, to be present in energy, because the breath is our life force and it's always communicating to us. So I think those are some powerful things that I've tapped into and that I usually suggest for others.
I love it. I have 2 little girls. I always put it through that filter because I do it for myself, of course, and then I can pass something on to my kids or do a practice with them. And I have a little 8-year-old who I just, if I think about her too much, I'll cry because that's how much light I think she has.
I can
And
feel that. I almost got emotional just feeling them. It's like,
yeah,
ooh, they're
and
powerful.
and she has like this incredible, she's only 8, but she has this incredible intuition, and everyone that, she has an interaction with kind of feels like she's like an old soul, or she's very familiar. And, but because it's a lot for her, sometimes she has trouble channeling it, and
Yes.
it can be very emotional, and she sometimes can't even articulate why she's feeling the way that she's feeling. But so this is like a very important conversation for me. I see a lot of my daughter in you, and the light, and I'm hoping that she finds her path like you found yours,
Yeah,
to be a
thank you
light
for
for others.
saying that, because a big part of with my journey, being a young child and having those gifts and not really being able to articulate or understand why I had them and what to do with them. One of my biggest passions, especially recently, is holding space for children, intuitive kids. And I do, events and counsel children as well through their intuitive gifts, because they're so close to source. They're, we're just there, and they just came from that. And they have this inner knowing and wisdom, but they are also learning how to be in this more dense world and experience. And so that's a very interesting thing to navigate for a child. And so it's a big, big passion of mine to make sure every child who has the gifts, which I feel like all do, are felt, safe in their gift and acknowledged in their gift, and also can learn ways to utilize their gift in a graceful way.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, sending so much love to your kiddos. It's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's encouraging thinking about all of the parents now that are interested in cultivating their kids' gifts rather than the sort of generation that we grew up in, where, like you were mentioning, that just this is something taboo to be feared to, and then you have to just go through it. But I think those of us, and like, Jay and people that are becoming parents have gone through that, and now they know how to better offer this support for children who are realizing their gifts, since it was such a difficult journey for all of us to recognize our gifts, accept them. And while you were talking, it just really made me remember and just think about how so often, and people listening, the things that can cause you anxiety, the things that you don't like about yourself, the things that you wish were different, oftentimes are little clues to gifts that you have. And if you're open to, like you were talking about, that self-love of loving this vessel that you have, this is the one that your soul selected, so we should be happy to have this one and these issues and these like difficulties that we go through, because it's really, if we're open to it and wanting to become the best version, the best superhero that we can, all of those things that got us to here are kind of molding and shaping us to be better channels.
Absolutely. And I feel like so much of our dark nights of the soul or our shadow work, our flaws or things that we perceive as flaws or, limitations, they are there to give us the opportunity to transmute and overcome them and to love them so that we can learn that path in that way and then show others the same who experience similar things. So, I always tell, especially my clients or anyone else that I'm seeing going through those kind of dark nights or those insecurities, this is in your being, in your experience to help you be your own healer first. And then once you're able to be your own healer and your own warrior of light first, then you get to be that healer and warrior of light for others. And that's why it's happening. So you can pass that wisdom on. And that's, where the Healers Unite comes from as well, is just being able to acknowledge we're all healers and we all get to unite and be healers for each other with things we've experienced.
I was telling Chris,
that.
I was listening to your music yesterday, and it was so unique and special and inspirational and full of life, but it was also super contemporary. Like I could hear it next to Alicia Keys, like that. I was just like, I could put this in my car and vibe with it. I could meditate on it. It was so multi-layered. I'm so sorry. I want as many people to be exposed to that feeling that I had listening to music, because I think that sometimes, I know we were talking about frequency, I think last time, that the music we listen to today, it's almost been watered down a little bit, and it's not hitting that frequency that we all, strive to attain, and we all feel better on the inside when that frequency hits. And I felt that when I was listening to your music. So, how are you? I mean, with social media, it definitely helps, but how are you getting your light out there? Do you ever feel like you want to reach more and expand more, or do you want that to kind of cultivate naturally?
Yeah, I feel like spirit does a lot for me, it's like always source is just, has a plan. And it's funny, I always envision my music like wrapping around the world, sending this frequency of light, this web of light. One person hears it and somebody else hears it, and then it's lighting up, the world. I have a song called Aura that says, I got all these little lights, and that's literally what I see is all these little lights being turned on through the vibration of the music and other conscious music as well. And over the last couple of years, I have noticed the music spreading more, and I just ask for source to allow whatever's meant to be, and I trust in its vision for the spirit of the music. And it's been exposed to a lot more people, the last year even. I mean, it's been really, really cool, and connecting with other conscious artists as well has been beautiful. I've been connecting with Lizzie Jeff, if you know of her, Illuminati Congo as well, Landrell, others that are just spreading that light. And it's really, really exciting because, before when I started this music, there wasn't really anyone out there emitting these types of frequencies in music. And a lot of the reasons why I felt so passionate about it was kind of what I was talking about, being your own healer first. It was the music I wanted to hear that I wasn't hearing on the radio. So I was like, let me make the music I want to hear. And, and express what I'm experiencing and transmute some of the mainstream that's not at that vibrational level, and hopefully inspire it to rise, And I still listen to a lot of artists that are mainstream. I love Alicia Keys. I love so many other artists. But it feels good to be able to see the music gaining more popularity, the conscious music gaining more popularity, because that means that hearts are opening more to that kind of path. And I think that's that's the kind of affirmations that the world is most benefited from, expressing and singing over and over and over again, because these are codes, that we're coding our subconscious with. So it's important to
Yeah,
do
it's
that. So yeah,
beautiful.
I want it to spread. I right now I just put it out there and share it where I can. I think marketing is like not my biggest zone of genius,
Yeah, yeah.
So I just kind of ask spirit to do that part for
Oh,
me.
that's beautiful.
And
I
it
feel
works
like
out so
that's authentic and everyone is aware of it, the authenticity of that. I sometimes feel like, it's the natural light that I feel like I would love the world to have access to. It sometimes gets there's so much marketing and there's so much superficial. It's like layers. It's so thick that sometimes it's hard to even get through, and sometimes even hard for me to access because I feel like we have to go through so many layers to get to it. Um,
Mhm.
but Chris has taught me that whatever you're looking for, you'll find, and I really embrace that. So I hope that the more, as you said, as people become more and more conscious and they start looking for it, they'll find it and won't be difficult.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
And like you were saying, it's so inspiring that there's so many people that are looking for this now.
yeah,
Mhm.
We are in this new age of energy that is coming out of this old ways. The old ways are falling away, and people are craving and looking for things that, I mean, we all want to feel good. We all actually want to feel good, and we know that the things that we previously thought made us, that would actually, we can't actually find true happiness and joy that lasts in anything material, in any physical pleasures, in any of those things that everybody previously was thinking is the goal, recognizing that those don't actually bring us lasting happiness, and people are being turned onto the real thing, actually feeling bliss,
yeah,
whether it's through a great meditation or a yoga practice or breath work or plant medicines or all the myriad ways that you can attune to divine qualities. You get a little taste of that, and then you put on your previous music and you're like, this is bringing me down. This is like ego driven music that's boosting my ego, and it just doesn't feel right. Can I find, and then you start to go on a hunt of like, can I find, medicine music? Can I find healing music? And you can find it probably in every genre now that you're looking for, of conscious artists that are looking to uplift the world with their art. And yeah, I love connecting with artists who are doing that. And then it seems like a lot of artists, when we start putting out this conscious art, that it often comes with, okay, now I'm finding myself teaching. Now I'm finding myself wanting to teach other people how to feel this as well. So I know you offer healing. You offer readings in different areas through tarot. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about the one-on-one coaching that you offer
Sure.
to people, because yeah, you may hear this, and along my journey, I love podcasts and hearing about different artists, and something, could spark in your mind of like, wow, that really could be powerful for me. So I like introducing people to so many different ways that they can open up to conscious
yeah.
source.
Yeah, so my one-on-one offerings are very diverse, very multidimensional. I have a lot of different offerings. I have the past life readings that I do, past life regressions, which are really powerful. I guess that's most present on my heart right now because I just did one yesterday. And these are really the opportunity for someone to go deep into their past lives or parallel lives and see what hidden gifts, and what hidden wounds get to be healed and revealed and transmuted and activated into the present life experience for the soul's evolution. I also do mediumship, so I connect to, passed on loved ones of the people that come to me. Um, I do channelings. I've been a channel for some time, and so I do channeled activations where the guides, deities, goddesses, whoever it may be that want to speak to the individual receiving, they just channel through me very directly. Sometimes my voice will change, my mannerisms. The energy is really emitted really potently. Of course, always accessing the highest love and light guides that are available. And then I also offer more simple readings, so general readings where we cover like love, work, family life, spiritual growth. Um, And then I do energy cleanses. So I do like Reiki, which is a Kemetic Reiki that I've been a master of and attuned to, which is really powerful for chakra balancing and things like that. So those are more of my one-on-one, like kind of, one booking type of things that people can get. But then I also offer the coaching, which is if you're looking to develop your intuition more, if you know you have these gifts, if you're an empath or a healer or an intuitive, this is where you get to really develop your intuition, learn about your gifts, learn about what it is expressing through you and how to open that up, and also how to protect your energy and be discerning of what's coming through. That one's really powerful. That's a 6-month course and coaching program that I've been offering for a few years now that has been changing people's lives just in allowing them to really see their true power and step into that true gift that they are meant to spread throughout the world. And then the last thing I'll mention is my intuitive counseling that I do, because this is also something that I've been really passionate about recently, especially, after all of the quarantine aspects of our collective that occurred the last couple of years. We've kind of been forced to separate and social distance and all these things. And in that time, we were all forced to look at ourselves, even when maybe we didn't want to. And so that's brought up a lot of, wounds and shadow work for people. And not everybody knows how to navigate that. So in the intuitive counseling, I'm able to connect to, your spirit, your energy, and also use my therapeutic practices from my bachelor's degree in psychology and my experience in the field to just kind of create a therapeutic experience to move through any shadow work or tough times that have come up or surfaced from your life experience. So I use oracle cards, but I use them at the end of every session. I'm really just a channel, so I connect directly to higher self and to the spirit guides of the person I'm connecting with, and read the energy that way, and just let that speak through, and we move through it together.
Beautiful. It's thinking about where we're at now with artists like you who are offering these type of things, and thinking just like kind of going back in time before we had so many of these tools available to us, and you watching a podcast like this and just hearing about, a musician that you love that now is teaching you intuition. Thinking back just in the recent past where it was like this topic of mental health or seeking counseling or therapy, it seemed like such a grim thing where it's like, oh, you need help, you're crazy, we're gonna send you to this person who's gonna fix you, or put you in a so to think about where it's come now, it should be in this way where we're coming to it with a sense of curiosity rather
Yes.
than gloom about it. It's like, oh, maybe this thing that I've been resisting and thinking is bad about myself, I'm hearing this now, and wow, this sounds like fun. Not like, so I think that was the first, like, for me, just starting to realize like, wow, this is a fun thing. This is like something that we should be like curiously seeking after, and we can turn our our curses into gifts, and we can learn that I think we all really do have superpowers that are latent within us, and our childhood and the taboos and people have told us over time to stifle them. But so maybe if, like if you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling depression, it may just be because you have things that your soul really wants you to do and is giving you these anxieties, these depressions, all of these disasters that maybe are coming into your life are trying to show you something, trying to tell you like, there's another way. You should really explore
Yes.
these things.
Absolutely. And, I was doing therapeutic work in, the more Western medicine or Western therapy practices. And that's why I had to leave. I was called to leave that field. because it was more gloom and doom and limited. I couldn't talk about, this intuitive message I was getting for someone, or pull a card, or talk to them about their chakras. And so it was very limited, and Spirit was like, this isn't really the container you're meant to serve in, but you were able to use the awareness and wisdom from that to now help others in this more hybrided way with intuition and the spiritual gifts that you have. And so that's why I think it's so important, because it's allowing people to be excited about the work that they get to do in their soul, that expands them into more of their fullest, purest, positive potential, and to really enjoy the process. And like you said, to have fun, because so much of our traumas and our depression and anxieties are created from our resistance to our inner child, our resistance to that innocent version of us that wants to play and explore and adventure through life. And we're taught and programmed in this society to take things so seriously and work hard to get where you want to be. And, when we think about our childhood, which is where we were growing the fastest and most, palpably, we were playing. We were playing and we were having fun with our experience, and we were looking at things from that light view. And that, I really truly feel, is what helped us grow so fast and, so beautifully. So we get to bring that back through therapy, through intuitive counsel, and whatever other ways, retreats, events that you feel called to do, because it gets to be graceful and fun and beautiful, instead of gloomy and tough and hard, or laborious.
Beautiful. That's what it seems more and more. If you're on a spiritual path, if you're practicing anything, it should bring sense of joy and adventure and fun into your life. If it's not doing that, then look another way. Look for something else. It's not supposed to be grim duty. It's not supposed to be this thing that you're doing out of some guilt or anything like that. It's a fun, follow your bliss, like Joseph Campbell said. He boiled down all of the teachings of the East into follow your bliss. And you can, I remember for me, just like it would be something somebody said, or just a little somebody, like would tune into somebody like you, and you would just say a word and it would be like, oh, spark something in your mind. Pay attention when that happens, when you hear that. Rewind it, listen to it again, and then go online and Google the word that you heard, or look into these things. When that comes, like, don't put it away, because so quickly, like a dream, it can fade away, and then you missed that little sign that your higher self was giving you. So it's important to act when you feel those sparks, I think, right?
100%. And I think also, just a little bit of what you were saying a second ago, I think that's where oracle readings or intuitive readings kind of got a bad rep. And that's also where people get to use their discernment, because if you're connecting with a reader who's saying, oh, you're cursed, and there's this doom headed for you, and you're stuck in this path that is treacherous, that's not really true to the source light. God is love, and there's love in everything, and even in tougher times, there's a way to transmute it, there's a way to choose out of it, through self-development and expansion of your light. And so I think that's why people have shied away so much, or felt taboo from readings or things like that, because there was this kind of layer of doom and gloom and cursedness that was being projected, and it gave it a bad rep. So yeah, definitely use your discernment if you're getting a reading or you're afraid of a reading, because you've had one where it was very gloom and doom struck in. Seek someone else who is more in that light inner child excitedness about it, because I've had so many people come to me for first readings and they're like, oh my gosh, I was afraid because I thought you were going to tell me I was cursed or something, and I'm like, no, like it's never that. You always can choose a higher path. You get this information so you can shine light of awareness on it and be able to appreciate every experience instead of feel stuck in it or cursed by it. So yeah, that's a big one.
And yeah, 100%. And it sounds like, for somebody, if you're looking to get a reading from somebody, the way that you're talking about it, you're not only saying, I know how to do this and I'm going to show you. It's
Right.
You can get an experience with it and feel it and recognize the truth behind it. But then if you would like, I'll teach you how to do it because you know how to do it as well.
We all have the gift. And that's why when
Mhm.
you're saying, follow the synchronicities, follow the inspiration of your own sacred heart that is saying, this is important, or I had a dream about this and it feels significant. Look it up, because that's your intuition. That's your spirit self speaking to you through your gifts and showing you how to understand your path that way as well. You don't necessarily need an intuitive or a reader. People just do it when they are not able to tap into it themselves, or they're feeling like, oh, I don't feel like doing that right now. But I always tell people, try it yourself first. Try to hear your inner being first before you come to a reader, and see how to trust that whisper and make it louder. Because when you start trusting that whisper and you recognize that it's validating you and confirming things, then you're like, oh, okay, now I can hear that voice even louder and louder and louder. And now you're in that stream of consciousness of your intuition. So it's
Mhm. And when you start to tune into that intuition, and just remember how it it's you can really scientifically, artistically get a sense of what it's like to feel true, deep intuition. And then also at the same time, you can learn how to tell the difference between intuition that's coming from something you're regurgitating in your mind, or an emotion can make you feel like it's an intuition, but really you've got some emotional attachment to it, and you could go down that emotional road and realize, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I felt so good about it at first. So, do you have any thoughts or insights to share with people who are looking to tune into that intuition and how to maybe navigate? I know it's a deeper topic, but maybe just a few tips for people that are getting interested in this topic.
Sure. Yeah. I always tune into the sacred heart, which is, I call the conscious compass, our heart center. And so the conscious compass as our heart center is our GPS. It's our navigation system. It's literally magnetic, right? We have the electromagnetic field around our bodies, our mind being electro, where it kind of identifies things and sparks inspiration and helps us see things. But then our heart is the magnet. It draws things in and also pushes things out. And so if you're in an experience, for example, where you're being told something about, yourself by a reader, for example, or even listening to a podcast or a video on YouTube, and your heart is starting to feel like it's closing down or restricted or kind of like unsure, listen to that, because your heart is not agreeing to something and there's a reason, versus when your heart may feel really expanded when you're hearing something and you're starting to open up. And sometimes opening up can feel really vulnerable, but it's still an opening up, right? And your heart's still saying yes to this. It's opening up and it's drawing that energy in for a reason. So if you can start to feel the way your heart responds to something outside of the ego, because the ego sometimes will want to push something away even though it feels true, right? That's the difference, is your heart's still saying yes to it, but your ego, your mind, or your part of yourself that wants to stay attached to old programming is pushing it away, right? That's why focusing on the heart is so important. And when you do that, you start to tune into that discernment of yes, my heart is saying yes to this, so there's something here. And maybe even you hear a yes to one part of a sentence and then a no to another part, right? So that's where you can go on Google and dive deeper into that yes version and get more perspectives on it that can feel heart expanding, and also kind of get rid of the stuff that isn't really aligning to your sacred heart or your conscious compass. And you can use that for decision making too. You know, is my heart saying yes to this job offer or this new path in my business? Or is it saying, it's not all the way there, there's something missing, or there's something that needs to be tweaked, or there's something else out there that's more heart aligned, right? So that would be my biggest tip for that.
Thank you. I love that.
Yeah.
It makes me think about people who are listening that these things sound interesting, but I'm working on my business right now, or I'm so busy. I have all these goals and things I'm trying to do or support my family. And when you hear things like this, can realize that maybe doing these kind of things will help you make so much better business decisions, where you could save years of your life by just having a 15-minute morning practice or morning and evening practice where you're setting your goals, your intentions, keeping your intentions on what you're looking to manifest in your life, rather than spinning your wheels. Or I know for me, before I was using meditation practice for making decisions, I would go off in so many different directions and be like, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be doing this. I felt so strong about it at the beginning and nobody could tell me nothing about it. That's not always intuition, when you get this like, bullish thing in your head of you're going to do this and nobody can tell me different. You might feel like you're being intuitive there, but you might also be following your emotions. And so I think for me, meditation is so practical.
Yes.
And at first, like when you want to get into it, you can start with just very small 5 minutes. Everybody could find 5 minutes. And if you find 5 minutes in the morning and you tell your partner and your children, everybody, it's just like for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes, I'm going to be doing this every morning. I'm going to make a little spot in my room somewhere, maybe set up a little altar. And if you just sit there for 5 minutes, put on some headphones or something, just push pause on the whole movie. And if you could just sit there for 5 minutes and make your intention of the day, that could be such a powerful thing that could lead you to deeper and deeper connections.
Absolutely. That's where I started, and it's about quieting the mind from, like you said, the bullish aspect of our being that's wanting to stay attached to some kind of stubborn perspective or some like etched path that other people have told us to walk, or whatever we were conditioned to believe. And so when we do the meditation practice, we're able to really tune in to our inner being, ourself, and into our heart, so we can actually understand what our heart even sounds like, what our heart even truly desires, and how it can really guide us with that GPS energy system to get us there. But we have to start by tuning into it. And I have a YouTube channel as Rissa Vibes, and I did a 30-day meditation dedication practice. What was that? I think that was in November. Yeah, or December, maybe December, where I did 30 days, and there's like 10 different meditation types that people can learn through just 5-10 minutes of meditation. So if anybody is wanting a guidance on that, go check that out, because that can be your invitation to start learning about what type of intuition suits you best and how to even take that time and what to do when you're in that space. So
Amazing. Yeah, people go check that out. See it's wonderful that there are so many flavors of teachers, meditation teachers, different kinds of people. You may be hearing this and you're really connecting with Rissa, and maybe the way that she offers these meditations really will connect with you. So there's so many different ones out there. So it's about using your intuition, and your intuition, if you're listening to this, led you here, and then you hear this, and that can lead you to the meditation. So I would say if you're feeling connected, try exploring these other offerings and see how it resonates with you sometimes. And just because you've tried meditation in the past, don't write it off. Oh, I tried it already. It didn't work. You know, like Yogananda says, like it's like diving for pearls. Don't
Mm.
don't find fault in the ocean and say there are no pearls. Find fault in your diving. It's,
Ooh, that's powerful.
mhm,
Yeah, I mean, I love being able to go into that exploration of different teachers, different healers, different voices, different perspectives, because we're all connected to divine source and we're all fractals of that. And so our soul and our spirit may need a different voice or a different type of guidance at different points in our life. And then sometimes our spirit just needs ourselves, right? Sometimes it's like, no, turn all of it off and just listen to yourself and tune into yourself and connect
mhm,
there. And that's why the intuition development is so important, because you're able to know where and what to follow when you need it most. And then it keeps you from going down paths where you're like, oh, I got distracted because somebody else did it this way and I thought I was supposed to. And now I'm over here like, what did I do? You know, all this time later. But you know, you can always go back. You can always change your mind. You can always change your trajectory. So that's, you know, that's the beauty of having that inner voice and listening to it.
mhm. Right. And as you develop that more and more, I think too, maybe like what you were referencing in the beginning, as people oftentimes are scared of these new things if they're not used
Mm-hmm.
to working with them. You can be afraid of, and so often in all the documentaries they put on HBO and all of these things, they're always showing us the charlatans. They're always showing us the bad versions, the ones who
Yeah,
caused a lot of trouble and pain for people. And those are the things, just like our news, it loves to just put out the darkness, the terrible things, because for whatever reason, our human, the clickbait, it just makes you click and it gets more and more likes. So
mm-hmm.
to the however many like charlatans and terrible people that are out there using spiritual things for nefarious reasons, there are so many good ones that you don't hear about. There's so many, like for my path of Kriya Yoga, I'm
Mm-hmm.
part of the Ananda Village community, and since 1969 they've had communities all that has been building and growing all around. So starting in California and then all around the US and in India and in Europe, thriving communities full of meditating superheroes that you don't ever
Mm-hmm.
hear about. You wouldn't even know. It didn't even come into your radar because until you're ready, you know, you read autobiography of a yogi and you hear about Kriya Yoga, and then you start doing your, it takes your own searching, seeking to find it. It's not
Yes,
usually just going to be blasted at you on a billboard somewhere.
totally.
And when you're ready, you find the real thing, and just having your intention in your heart that you want to find. That's how I found the real thing. Was I was asking for that. I was like, I'm ready
Yes.
for a lighthouse. I need something pure that I want to dedicate everything I have to this, and I need to know that it's going in the right direction. So I think when
Yeah.
you ask for that, you find it.
Yeah, that's like, you know, searching the destination in the GPS. You know, if you don't have a destination with your intention in mind or in heart, then your heart's just going to kind of be looking for something, but not really knowing where it's meant to guide you, you know? And so putting in that intention of, I want the truth, I want the pure light, I want to feel confirmed in my own being of what I'm feeling and learning, and I want to expand in my light. And when you put that, you know, enter that into your GPS, your heart's going to guide you there through your intuition. So yeah, that's so important.
Cool. And I've seen too that you've got an upcoming retreat as well. So
Yeah,
you've got
yeah.
the Intuitive Luminary course and coaching program, and then you also do your readings. And then upcoming, you have your healing and wellness retreat in, how do you pronounce that? That's Bacalar
Yeah, Bacalar,
in
Mexico. Yeah.
Mexico, near Tulum, right?
Yeah. Yes, right near Tulum. It's so cool. I was in retreat co-hosting a retreat in Peru in September, and sat with Great Mother Aya, which was so powerful. But in that retreat, I was like the spirit of Tulum came to me and was like, oh, your next retreat is going to be near Tulum. And it was funny because I've never been to Tulum. I've only heard of it. But then, you know, a few months later, I met my divine partner, and you know, he was doing a retreat already in Bacalar, Mexico, and it was
Mm,
right by Tulum. And he's like, let's do it together. And I'm like, this makes so much sense, you know, there's spirit
amazing.
showing up again and saying, yeah, this is, you know, the whisper of the spirit with Tulum. So we're really excited. It's a radiant soul retreat, so it's a beautiful opportunity for anyone, no matter where they're at in their spiritual journey or how, you know, aware they are of spirituality, to really step into more of their own soul's radiance and to access, you know, deeper meditation or try meditation for the first time, learn about their intuition and how to recognize that voice, tap into breath work and yoga. We're going to be doing some silent dance, silent disco dance parties, and having fun with the inner child energy as well. And our real intention is to help people recognize the masculine and feminine aspect of their being and the balance of their own essence, so that they can create and manifest whatever they want in their life, whether it's divine love or a new path in their purpose or their soul's journey, clarity or healing from trauma, whatever it is, you know, just accessing whatever that newfound awareness is to release blockages to your radiant soul. So it's going to be so fun, and it's in paradise. I mean, Bacalar is gorgeous. So, and I think it's important too to retreat. I think retreat, it really helps people to get out of the monotony and the daily grind and the matrix aspect of their life, and be able to just tune in, you know, for 5 or 6 days, just tune into that intention and really get their spirit in alignment, so that when they come back to their daily life, now there's this strong foundation, and it's not easily wavered or distracted by the outside world. So it's a powerful experience.
Super powerful. Makes me want to
Yeah,
be there right now.
yeah,
Your
come,
partner,
come,
his name is
please.
Dion, right?
Dijon.
Dijon. Yeah. So very cool. So that
Yeah.
you'll be doing that retreat together.
Yes, yeah, he's a
Space. Yeah.
poet and a multi-dimensional mentor and an event coordinator. He does these amazing events called the Glow Up with many artists and yogis and breathwork facilitators. It just creates this like portal experience of divine light. And so, yeah, we're pairing together with our gifts to hold space for others. So we're really excited, and we've
Oh,
got a little
amazing.
discount on it. We're doing like a $200 off until Sunday. For the retreat, to reserve your spot. So there's some nice little offering savings that we're giving
All
out
right,
too.
perfect. Yeah, for those listening, this gets released on Friday. So you'll have Saturday, Sunday, to get this. So that'll be you got 2 days to get the discount. It makes me think in the same way that we were talking about how working on mental health used to be this other thing. It was, while you were talking, it makes me think now, like vacations have a new upgrade. Think about
Yes.
past vacations that you're on, thinking about, okay, where are we gonna go? And then you go somewhere, and maybe you just go with a partner, with a couple of friends. And oftentimes, what is it? You go somewhere, you end up just getting drinks, like touring places, always figuring out what are we, do all this planning of how do we find interesting things and interesting people. And it can be like you come back from a trip like that and you don't feel refreshed. You
No,
feel
you feel
like
exhausted.
break. You need another break.
Totally.
So
Yeah. And when you do things that are like, I don't ever tell people to live their life a certain way, but sometimes, drinking excessively for 5 days and, eating really dense foods and things, like it can be fun for part of yourself, right? But then your body is like, wait, I didn't really enjoy that, or
mhm,
I forgot half of what I did at this place, and
mhm.
or it creates, a certain kind of energy. And so, yeah, I think when you allow yourself to retreat and vacation in a place that has an intention to rejuvenate yourself and has planned and been designed to help you really feel recharged and activated into a more clear energy, you get to be more present in that space and really soak in all the beauty of it. And you also get to come back with this new awareness of the beauty of life, which doesn't always happen if you're, just going on a vacation and not really setting that intention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes me think of like certain vacations, like say going to Hawaii, and you've gone through all of this work to get there, plane flights, packing, travel arrangements, getting a car, driving to these places, seeing the sunset, and for 5 minutes or something like that, where you finally sat, you're on the beach and the sun is setting and you're like, wow, okay. So you get that 5 minutes where you feel like, okay, I had some bliss. And then you have to get, back in the car, do all these kind of things. But if you could have just a whole week where you're just in vibration, where you're doing things that are created to help you tap into that divinity within you, you can feel bliss, just bliss on top of bliss and decide too that you're going to go here to feel bliss. I like to lately have been thinking so much about that idea that say you and I, we go to a music festival, and there's really just recorded music playing, and there's a small person on a stage that's so far away, but we decided we're here to have fun, so we're going to have so much fun, and everybody else around us decided to have fun, so we're just listening to music with other people. There's really but you're allowed to be in those situations very full of joy, very full of, we can do that anywhere we're at. We can feel that same level of joy. We can decide to keep turning up the joy. It's really within us. And so getting around friends who are doing that you don't really need all this luxury, you don't really need all of these things to feel joy. And I think a retreat like this can teach you, of course, being in a beautiful location helps. Being in all this. So something that was coming to me this week, I shared it on the last podcast, but I think it's worth repeating, is this, that when you're in a nice, peaceful environment, when the weather's nice, when you're in a cool place, or you're around good friends, and you're feeling good, feel even better. Like feel even better. Like decide, okay, how good can I feel? Because we know we can feel good no matter what's happening in the world around us, but it's easier when the sun's shining and there's a sunset or a rainbow or a bird singing or a good friend. So practice when it's easy, practice in meditation, and then when times get tough, you can invoke that joy even those times.
Yeah, and I think a big reason too why we designed this retreat is so that we could teach people the practices that we use to cultivate that bliss, no matter where we are, unconditionally, no matter what we're experiencing in our life, breath work, yoga, just dance parties, and many other things and perspectives and ways of being that can create that bliss when you're back in your home, doing your daily life experiences, whether it's going to work or tending to your family or whatever. You can cultivate that bliss, that radiance, because you've learned how to sustain it when you were there at the retreat and you were in that deep intentional portal, right? Because we can create that portal anywhere. And yes, encourage yourself to feel so much more and see how far you can go, by being present and just expanding. Because we have a lot of limiting things sometimes in our perspective. One book that I read that I always suggest, and that's coming to mind right now, is written by Gay Hendricks, The Big Leap. And he talks about our upper limiting beliefs and the reasons why sometimes we self-sabotage our bliss or our success or abundance. And there's so many reasons, listed in there, fear of leaving people we love behind because they're not in that energy, or fear of, not being worthy of that higher state of bliss, or, just not knowing what that entails and being uncomfortable reaching it. But if we can continue to allow ourselves and choose to push past those limiting beliefs and just see what happens, we're going to recognize the magic of our own being and being able to make that happen, but also in the world that's constantly reflecting that bliss and giving us the opportunity to experience it. So it's a beautiful thing when we step into that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. So encouraging for the way things are going and the type of entertainment people are looking for and recognizing the real thing. And yeah, it was making me think when you were talking that, yeah, you get to bring that bliss back with you. So like oftentimes you go on a vacation and then you're like, oh, it's already over. And then you go back home and you're like, now you're feeling down and low because you were having this like karmic high. And now you have, obviously there's a trough that comes with every wave. So when you come back, like if you're thinking back to when I used to party and things, you would be out all night in a party and you would be feeling so high. And then the next day you're feeling so down and low.
Yeah.
Where if we're conscious about what we're doing and you're using these kind of healthy ways to feel these blissful experiences, that you get to actually bring that back with you. And like what you were talking about, you can invoke it again, just realizing, oh, it wasn't really the person that was talking. It wasn't really the setting. It wasn't really any of that. It was really coming from a higher place, and that is always available and always there. We just need to receive it and accept it. And yeah, I think I love that. So yeah, for those that haven't been on a spiritual retreat, going to a magical place, having good people around you that are helping you with that, it will just recharge your batteries, and then you can bring that back to, when you come back home, then you're even more motivated to do whatever it is that you're doing. You're more motivated to get back into your meditation. I find after ceremonies or retreats, once you come back home and you're in your meditation, for me now, I just get like it replays the movie. I do my techniques, I sit there, and then the whole thing just comes back again. The
Yes.
spiritual teachers start talking to me again and reminding me of what I forgot. And you can just keep it with you. It doesn't have to be like a thing that fades away. The more that you keep stoking it, blowing on that, it can stay with you. So that's a cool thing
Yeah.
about retreat.
Yeah, a lot of my music was actually channeled through from experiences at retreats, even solo retreats I've taken to Sedona, just day retreats. I'm in Arizona, so I travel up to Sedona. It's only a 2-hour drive and just go on a solo trip with nature. And, a lot of my songs were written from that, just those times by myself in nature or with others in retreat in nature. And so, yeah, there's just amazing things that can come from, doing that and putting yourself in the position to receive those types of activations. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. We also do the Seekers of the Eternal. We have a house in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, so we're making a space there where people, part of the community, they can just book time to go to be out there in the space, and I'll be painting murals there as well, and
Ooh.
just kind of creating a little place for people to have their own little retreats together and connect with other people. So
Oh
yeah,
my
nice to
goodness,
know
I'll
that you're
have to
out there too.
come vibe. Yes, Scottsdale's right down the street from me. Yeah, that's really
Amazing.
beautiful.
Yeah, maybe yeah, we'll have to talk about some collaborations with things we could do out there then.
That'd be so
Mhm.
fun.
Amazing. Well, it's been so fun chatting with you. I feel like we could keep going into so many more things. Is there anything else that you'd like to share? Usually what I do at the end of the time here, I just share some words from Yogananda to send us out.
Sure.
But is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners? We'll put links to all of these offerings in the show notes here so people can
Great.
find you. But yeah, it's been so nice connecting with you. I really enjoyed our conversation and look forward to keeping in touch.
Yeah, you as well. Yeah, I think that, my biggest takeaway for people today is just trust in yourself, trust in that whisper of your spirit that's always speaking to you. Let yourself hear it and let yourself receive it because it will guide you to unfathomable bliss and prosperity of your being. And have fun along the journey. Have fun along the journey. For those who like my music, I'll be sharing, and I know this might be fun for you to hear. I've got a Healers Unite remix that I'll be dropping probably in the next month or so.
Cool.
It's really exciting. It's like an EDM ecstatic dance version of Healers Unite that was created by this amazing DJ in Prague who had heard the song and just got inspired to create a remix, and it's epic. So I'll be
Cool.
releasing that and some other music soon. But yeah, this has been beautiful. Thank you so much much for having me. And I just look forward to continued collaborations and communion with you and all others who are inspired.
Beautiful. I look forward to that release. I'll share that with everybody too when that comes out.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
also too, what we were talking about at the beginning, this Warriors of Light, we do it every Tuesday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time. So if anybody's listening wants to join in, that's on Twitter Spaces. Oh, it's just a 20-minute meditation. We feel joy and bliss, all these things that we're talking about, cultivate that within us. And then we share that, your imagination creates your reality, the reality that you want to move into. It's very important that you constantly see that future and get around other people that believe in that future, and that we can walk towards it. And so it's a powerful thing for ourselves. And then also we are these superheroes. We gather together. We know our power. We know what we're here. We're meant to be doing this. If you can smile in the dark times, I think it's up to you to share that energy with others. So this is a way that we can do that on a regular basis. So tune in anytime with us. And I'll just end with some words from Paramahansa Yogananda. This is a book that I often read from here, How to Be Happy All the Time.
Ooh, I love it. Yes, so on point.
Yeah. And this is what the great masters tell us. It's possible to be happy all the time. It doesn't mean that your life situation is always going to be great, but you can be happy even when it's doing this. You can be inwardly happy. And if you're inwardly happy, you can share that happiness with others. And Yogananda tells us that bliss in motion, that's the definition of love. No, I think, what is love? Is love that I'm attached to you, that I need you? Or is it that I can feel, cultivate, receive bliss and share it with you?
Yes.
It's a giving. And then at the same time, you can also receive that back. So you can feel it, share it, feel it at the same time. There's no attachment. There's no, wanting to hold on to something or feel this selfish desire. That's not love. It's a giving. And so some words from Yogananda here. He says, your desire to be happy must include others' happiness. When we serve others, we serve ourselves. Do not think, I will help others. Think rather, I will help my own. I will help my world, because I cannot otherwise be happy. Peace. Amen. Thanks, Rissa. Thanks, everyone listening.
Yes, thank you so much. Beautiful.
And joy to you, friends, and we'll be back again next week. Blessings. Well, so Jay will turn off the recording there. We'll edit the last part out. But yeah, it's been so nice hanging out with you. I feel like we could talk all day.
Well. Yeah, you as well, Chris. Thank you so much for having me, and please keep me in touch if anything you feel called to share or collaborate on. I would love to. It's very clear that we have some soul kinship on many levels. So I'm really grateful that we were able to connect deeper with this and just share a conversation. It's beautiful.
Amazing. Yeah, I think a lot of people, we're I don't know if you know too much about what we're building with the Seekers of the Eternal community. A lot of it is sort of hidden behind the Web3 world right now, as we're building an NFT collection and just connecting with more and more people. I think your words and your offerings will be very valuable to the type of people that are finding us and becoming part of our community. So you never know where the collaborations could lead. We in the future want to do, Seekers of the Eternal retreats and bring in different people that have different abilities and offerings and combine them for, more and more just connections with people. So who knows, as we start to pull those together, we could be collaborating there. And so wonderful to be with you. This is like, for us, I don't know if are you in the Web3 NFT world at all?
I haven't gotten into it yet, but my partner's into it a bit, so I'm gonna have him show me the ropes, because I really want to tap into that kind of stuff. I'm learning technology more and more, and all the ways we get to, you know, shine light with that. So yeah, I'll be entering that space soon.
Cool. I see it really working well for you, because there's so many people in this space that are interested in these type of things. I didn't know that when I first got into it, but now that I'm here behind the scenes and connecting with other spiritual groups, there is this kind of people ripe for wanting to become the best versions of themselves and to start tapping into spirit. There's so many in this space. And also for musicians, Web3, I really feel it's a place where you can start to build in these times where it's a little quiet, and there'll be pioneers that have, like, be here from the beginning, as this is, because this is where we're going with the future, as it's more of a community, co-creative kind of world that we're making together. So I feel like the opportunities for musicians and artists are pretty cool. So I'll keep you in the loop of things there. And yeah, it's cool to know that Dijon is starting to tap into that world too. I'm the same way as you. Is like, I'm just an artist. I don't know all of the technical aspects of it, but as I became interested, those type of people started showing up, like Jay and all my partners.
Thank goodness for them, because
yeah, they do all that part of it. I just create,
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. Well, thank you for that. Yeah, keep me posted, and I'm just wishing you a wonderful day, and thank you again for having me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing to connect with you. So
amazing. Yeah, have a wonderful day as well.
We'll talk to you soon.
Right, blessings to you. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Warriors so lifted, warriors of light, warriors so gifted, warriors unite. We have swam the rivers, sang under moonlight. We are nature's healers, we are cosmic sky. We got the power, we got the light, we got the fight, we got the power, we got the light, we got the fight, we got the power, we got the light, we got the fight, we got the power, we got the power. We're here to save the world, 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 world. We're here to save the world, 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 world. We will climb the mountains, download divine insight, rise up from lands forsaken to cultivate new life. Connect with ancient keepers, gift us our magic rights. We honor our ancestors, for us they gave their life. We got the power, we got the light, we got the fight, we got the power, we got the light, we got the fight, we got the power, we got the light, we got the fight, we got the power, we got the power. We're here to save the world, 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 world. We're here to save the world, 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 world. We are the healers, 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 you are the healer, we are the healers, we are the healers, you are the healers, we 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 are the healers. We got the power, we got the light, we got the fight, we got the power, we got the light, we got the fight, we got the power, we got the light, we got the fight, we got the power, we got the power. We're here to save the world, 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 world. We're here to save the world, 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 world.
Growth,
Divinity, surrender,
heart center,
ancestors,
rebirth,
compassion, creativity,
quantum,
self self love.